What's going on, everyone? So, been a lot of talk this offseason about Giannis Antetokounmpo and what is he going to do? Is he going to stick around? Is he going to leave? Yeah, they got Miles Turner, which I do think, that's an upgrade from Brook Lopez, but, you lose Damian Lillard in the process, although he would have missed the whole season anyway, but you didn't really get, you lose Damian Lillard, and you lose Brook Lopez and essentially just add in Miles Turner. Yes, they got a couple other pieces, but I don't know how good the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be. You're going to be really leaning heavily into guys like Gary Trent and, just Porter Jr., guys like that to really kind of handle some of the scoring load and playmaking role and whatnot. And we've heard from Milwaukee that hey, we're going to run Giannis as the point guard, and he's going to be the guy making all the decisions, making all the plays. And look, maybe that goes great. Maybe that's fantastic. It's also potential that that's just, again, it's one thing to make plays in the mix of things, right? And Giannis, everything's kind of orbiting through Giannis, right? Because that's kind of the logic. Giannis has the ball all the game anyway, so why does it matter? It's another thing when you're responsible to keep other guys involved. It's one thing when, you see a lot of guys, they have a hard time balancing it. You see a guy, he can go get you, 5 assists through the course of a game. Talk about it all the time. There's a difference between a guy that can make plays and a real playmaker. Playmakers, guys like Chris Paul, see the court differently. They see things develop before they happen. They can make moves. They can make plays. Guys like Luka Doncic, LeBron James, all these guys, right? They know how to make plays. They know how to have things and create these advantage points throughout the game and really kind of maximize those key areas. Then you get guys like, that can make plays, right? A lot of guys in the league can go get you 5 assists, right? Guys like Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, stuff like that. What happened? They tried to make them the point guard, and it was a disaster because there's a difference between now I have the responsibility to hit everybody in their shooting pocket, to run and operate plays, to call actions, to do all these things, to manage a game from a playmaking perspective. It's very different, but looks like Giannis Antetokounmpo is sticking around for at least this season, right? And the reason for that is Shams recently reported that Thansis Antetokounmpo, who is Giannis's brother, who has been on the Milwaukee Bucks before, is signing a guaranteed 1-year, $2.9 million deal to return to the Milwaukee Bucks. Sources tell ESPN. Antetokounmpo played for the Bucks from 2019 to 2024. This also means after a summer of exploring options, Giannis is staying in Milwaukee to start the season. So even Shams confirms that Giannis is sticking around. He's not leaving anywhere. So he's going to at least start the season this year. Two things. Either A, I think, which is most likely, he probably finishes this year. Now he goes into next season where he'd also have more control next season, right? Because right now, if he goes and gets traded, Milwaukee's going to want to get the best return possible. And that could be a team that he doesn't want to go to, right? Where next season would be a contract year to where now he can go, kind of gives them another chance. He can kind of justify, hey, look, because he also, he doesn't want to be the bad guy. He wants to be beloved. But it's hey, I gave him another chance. We're still, we're a play-in team. We're making the playoffs. Or I have to average 50 for us to do something. I need some help. I need to do something. I'm getting my older years, all of that, whatever. You can justify. I don't even think Bucks fans would be upset if Giannis went elsewhere, right? They might have their preferred team that they don't want to see him go to. But for the most part, I think most Milwaukee fans are yeah, it's probably best for him to go at this point. And even from Milwaukee, I've talked about, I think Milwaukee is only hurting themselves trying to keep him around, right? At some point, you're going to have to hit the reset button. You don't have the ability to make the moves necessary to now build a contender. And you just keep doing things to try to, have minimal upgrades or minimal moves that don't really move the needle to the level in which you do, that just keep setting you back further and further, right? But if you're Milwaukee, you can't just you don't want to be the team that just got rid of Giannis to get rid of you. You need it to be kind of a mutual thing. So hopefully this year that ends up playing out. And then now Giannis has the ability next offseason to go, I want to go to this team. I want to go to that. I only want to go to the Spurs, or, I want to go to the Clippers, or I want to go to Miami, or whatever, right? Whatever that team is that Giannis looks at and goes, that's the team that I want to go to, right? He has now more control in doing that. You still might have a team that does, a Kawhi Leonard, a Toronto Raptor thing, but for the most part, most teams will probably stay away because they're not going to have to give up the return and package necessary in order to make that happen. But to me, there is the potential too that in the offseason, right, that we see, or sorry, at the trade deadline, not the offseason, this trade deadline, we see Giannis maybe get a little itchy and then look to be traded, right? If Milwaukee's just not very good, say they're a fringe playoff team or they're a play-in team or something like that. But is he going to be one of those guys that's like, you need to trade me and you need to trade my brother to that team? Because that could add some complications, right? Because, it's hard, especially with the new CBA and taking on long-term salary stuff like that. $3 million difference could be the difference between a team being able to get that trade done or not, right? Because teams got to match salaries. They got to do all kinds of things. You might have to get a 3-4 team deal involved. Like, it might be a little chaotic and messy, right? And that $3 million could be the difference, right? You look at like LeBron. A lot of talks about LeBron potentially being traded or whatever, right? And it's like, well, LeBron and Bronny, right? Well, like, again, that could be a problem for teams. Like Cleveland, they could work it out to go and land LeBron, but they might not be able to work it out enough to land LeBron and Bronny, because that extra couple million is the difference between you being, an apron team or not an apron team, or, if you're hard cap, going over the cap, right? Like, there's so many complications now because of the new CBA. So I'm curious if Giannis ends up kind of getting that itch, if he just kind of, all right, let's just finish the season, let's just get through the season, be done, move on, and then in the offseason I'll make the move. Or if he's just like, I'm tired of waiting, right? Let me get something done so at least we can kind of build some chemistry. Maybe I can win a championship this season. If not, then we go into the offseason, kind of build on what I need to build on, work on what I need to work on. And then now we can go in full embrace an NBA championship, and also it gives them time to kind of see where's the best place for him. A team like the Spurs, I think, make a lot of sense. But like, what if they're not as good as people think? Or, what if, Dylan Harper just becomes that great to where it's like, the Spurs don't want to trade him anymore. So now Milwaukee doesn't want to. Or it's like, Giannis maybe is like, oh, do I really work next to Wemby? Like, there's a million things that he could kind of view and look at and see. Or Miami, it's like, are me and Bam enough, right? Like, there's a lot of questions that could present itself and kind of give him, like, there could be that team that we're not even thinking of that he's like, man, they're really good. Like, you add me to that team, that could be the difference. And I could, maybe be the guy that wins that team a first championship or something, right? Like, we'll see. We'll see how he wants to go about it. Does he want to be in the East? Does he want to be in the West? Right? There's a lot of questions that kind of go involved. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.